r/sex workers. Working contract 690 says. This has to be a joke. Included photo. Mzaza says. I think I've had enough of this subreddit. Wyank says. This person is making his rounds again. Yeah, it's a troll or something who finds time to message providers this email. I've seen it about 8 times now. Be sure to block their email. Purple Fairy 97 says. If I were to make a weirdo bingo card for sex workers, clients, the dog, frick, a troll would be one of the first ones on it. As others have said, really common, not a genuine inquiry, just block them. And Solariskin says. I think I've had too much internet for one day. Colonsram 1916 says. Madness. Who has time to drive to Bel Air? Shardik 68 says. Given how screwed up people are, I don't know what to think on this one. Real or troll, still a sick FCK. Trip_C says. So dog, frick, isn't just some wild insult? Massager by Ashley 2023 says. Wow. Someone out there is one depraved sick MFKR. Snow 88763 says. We both know that this is no joke. There's a community for everything, but damn, that's simples laying all that out. Decent_alternative 87 says. There's a serial killer / rapist who kidnaps girls and did this to them, but I can't remember who. If that's not a red flag, IDK, what is? Nomiv_ says. No way. r/sex workers. Dutir 2166 says. Thoughts? On cam the other day, a guy asked me to do stepdaughter rollerplay, and I called him a frick, I'm sicko, and blocked him. I told one of my cam girlfriends, and we had a disagreement about it. She says it's a common rollerplay, and that I shouldn't kink shame as it's still money and he could possibly leave me a bad review, which would in turn affect my clientele. Her argument is that we shouldn't bring our boundaries and personal opinions into work, but I disagree. My point here is that there are plenty of clients who aren't sick weirdos, so why would I deal with one who is, when I don't have to? I don't mind being submissive and calling a guy daddy in that context, but I have to draw the line at step/age play. In fact, I'd even argue that if you have poor boundaries, clients will pick up on that and try to push them more, whether that's by pushing you to do things you're uncomfortable with or trying to haggle your prices, which is actually worse for your business and general well-being in the long run. On the other hand, there's also the argument that it's better for these men to act out their fantasies on cam between consenting adults than in real life. While I understand this point, I also fear that it could embolden them to act out, and I don't want any part of that. Girls who cam, what are your thoughts? No judgment over here, please keep it respectful. Audrey Wright says. Not a cam girl, but there's nothing wrong with either of your preferences. However, she shouldn't push hers on you or vice versa. You're right, there's no need to service customers you don't want. If you do not want to provide this service, you don't have to and shouldn't. If she does want to provide this service, she's free to do so and should. She should not pressure you to change your mind, as she has been doing. This is a to each their own scenario. I don't think it matters whether it's better or worse for the customers to engage with these fantasies. It's an autonomy thing for the provider of the service. The cam girl should be 100% free to choose. Athausablan says. They aren't your trusted lovers. You can kink shame and say abso, frick, ingletly not all you want. Your mental health comes first. Not some guy's sexual perversion. Lickmitidus says. Phone sex worker here. I agree with your sentiment. I refuse to have my actual face associated with anything taboo, especially that involves role playing as minors or relatives. You did the right thing, you're your own boss and you don't need to compromise your boundaries to satisfy a client for money. Money circulates and there will always be other clients that are willing to spend big money and abide by your standards, boundaries and rules. No Expression 5137 says, I may get downvoted for this, but, and this is purely based on the information provided in the post, I know nothing about his reaction to being rejected. If I were the potential client, I'd feel disrespected in this exchange. Fetish and fantasy fulfillment is a very common motivation for clients, and in connection to your safe at events team here than on real people comment, I have to say that studies have shown that there's not really a link between sexual fantasies and real life actions. For instance, one of the most commonly reported female fantasies is non-consensual encounters, but that is in no way indicative of an actual desire to be forced into sex. You are entirely within your rights to enforce your boundaries, and if he tried to push past them, or in any way insulted you, then that is simply wrong. But if all he did was ask, and you responded by calling him a freak, ein sicko, to me that feels extreme and unwarranted. Sweet Streets says, not into kink shaming, it's a very common fantasy / kink I've found. If I'm not into it, I simply say not my thing. But I also don't think PPL are defined by their fetishes and deserve a safe place to explore them with other consenting adults. Humans are complex with complex and, ed up desires sometimes. For a multitude of reasons. Finding a healthy outlet, IMO, is super important. Wanting to roleplay it doesn't always mean they want it in real life. Some PPL use kinks to work through past traumas in a controlled environment. But I also understand I don't think like most PPL you gotta do what you feel is right for you. Nubito says, when I have clients ask me for things I have no interest or desire to engage in, I'll use it as an opportunity to refer them to someone else. You could simply say, that's not my cup of tea, but you might try, insert cam friend's name and contact. If you don't personally know of anyone who may be open to what they are looking for, just politely recommend that they look for someone who advertises extreme kink, age play, family kink or whatever category seems to best fit. There are a lot of aspects of sex workers I personally feel are disgusting, for me. Southwestern gets shamed enough, so I try hard not to perpetuate the shaming, even if it's something I don't agree with or want any part of. r/sex workers. Sudden_mix_8422 says, what do I wear? Okay, so I've been reading, researching, and lurking for quite some time here. Have so much goddamn respect for the people in this business, and y'all have taught me so much just from the conversations and posts in this sub. I want to start doing FS, but I swear the one thing that stops me is that I don't know what to wear. My personal style goes back and forth between a tomboy / athletic / athleisure and more femme / free spirit / flowy type. I'm not one to dress up in heels and pencil skirts, especially no serious heels, because of ankle injuries via said athletics lol, but I can definitely clean up when it's called for. All that being said, what the frick do I wear for FS work? I want to feel like I'm in my own element, because I won't be confident if I'm dressed up in something that doesn't feel right. But I know there's also expectations from the client side. IDK if I've given enough specifics, so please feel free to ask questions. But do y'all have any outfit inspo or stores you frequent, or ideas on where I can look? From a variety of cost levels, because I'm currently somewhat constrained financially. Thank you so much in advance. Full Metal Sports Bra says, clients really don't care how you dress, so long as you are wearing clean clothes that fit and are appropriate for the venue. Julia Bree says, I never wear heels unless they request them, and I'm usually dressed pretty casual. I wear jeans / shorts / skirt with a cute top or a cute, casual dress. I also usually don't wear makeup. If I do, it's just eyeliner and mascara. If they're looking for someone that is gonna be dressed up and in full glam, they'll book someone who advertises that way. Clients all have different preferences. Don't stress about it. Hey, it's Miss I says. I do in calls, so I usually wear lingerie. Schizoff Life says. Wear what you want to wear. Contrary to popular belief, most sex workers don't wear heels, revealing clothing, etc., especially not out in public. I sure as hell don't. BTW, if you are on a budget, try Shein, Dollskill, or ASOS. I have gotten a few things from Poshmark, eBay, and Etsy. Hurricane Katrina says. Well, I'm usually in a pencil skirt and heels lol, but honestly that's because it's easy on, easy off. I do a floaty cami, these Spanx type narrow skirts, and seriously, it's just a couple of tugs and they're off. I always match my lingerie to the clothes as well. No pressure, no pressure. This is just me, and the guys love it. Finally Grown Up says. Client view, where you're making your brand. Wear what is comfortable and natural. When you're comfortable, you're likely to provide better service. Also, when entering a hotel/apartment/etc, you want to blend in. You don't want to stick out as a sex workers and get clocked, be anyone else besides your customer. Apprehensive_spite 97 says. How I do it, and I highly recommend it, is create a persona. With that comes the clothes, makeup, hair. It's all different from who I'm in my private life. Try to explore it, but a combination of your persona style, what sells and what you like, is a good starting point. You don't need to wear heels out and about, but you need them in bed lol. The sooner you can buy a couple of nice underwear sets, the better. Invest in something that makes you feel sexy and style it. Get some sex toys, stockings, a robe. Whatever you like, but preferably not the exact same style as when you're in private. I keep separate wardrobes for myself and work. I mean, most people do in all kinds of business, and with good reason. Also get a perfume/body spray just for work to set you in the right headspace if you decide to wear it. Or a necklace, a lipstick or something that makes you ready to work. Good luck. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe